What's up, everybody? Welcome on in on the kind of the personal overview of how I feel about what's it like to play against the killers in Dead by Daylight. And we have, in my opinion, the most hated killer in the entire game is the Wraith. Um, I can't like it's funny because I tried to really like go back in time to think about like what is it about this killer that I despise, and I don't know, like I hate this killer a lot. I can't. If you ever catch me streaming or anytime I'm like, in the middle of fighting this killer, like I call him like my personal nemesis. Like he's my killer of I despise playing him. And honestly, I don't even know exactly what it is. Um I only started playing like DBD, I would say like maybe 2-ish years ago. So I don't even know like what the changes are about him that has like amassed over the course of time. But like I said, as soon as I started fighting him as a survivor, I knew very much well in that moment that I like hated him with a huge passion. It's just because of the fact that like I don't know, he seems so cheap and unfair, but it's so wild though. People think that he's really easy to deal with also. Again, I've been given tips and tricks on how to deal with a killer. I've been told, like, if you see him, get a flashlight somewhere if you can, something in the nature, or like go find a pallet, something, because people can easily like mess with this killer, like easily. I don't know what it is and I don't know how it is, but when I don't know who the killer is and I'm kind of just doing a gen casually, and then I later find out either from somebody else getting down by him or he's coming towards me uncloaking slowly but surely, I immediately get angry. I hate this killer with like a strong passion. Like I said, I think it's honestly because of the fact that he seems so cheap. Even though people also came to a consensus that like he was the worst killer in the game for a while and that he needed buffs. Like if they don't give him like a speed boost post uncloak, like he's bad apparently. Now I think the problem with this killer in my mind is that he has the potential to be like a very scary stealth killer in some way, shape, and form that would really like change up how he plays. But again, the thing is, like, he's got this bell that he hits to uncloak, and the time that it takes for him to uncloak with that bell is like really something weird. Like I said, I feel like personally I would be happy to give him some kind of a rework. Most important, he's definitely one of the killers I would easily rework without a chance. I don't want to say like delete him, even though I say that all the time. I would easily delete this killer, but I know that he's a fan favorite to a lot of people, and I don't want to like take that away. But again, this is my own like personal vendetta against a killer that I just like can't stand. But again, this man has gotten a bunch of changes over the course of time, and it shows it very clearly, But I just need to be able to figure out like what it is that I can't get my head wrapped around what I don't like about him. Because he's able to really just go ham on people. But again, he's very easy. He's very easy to track when he hits that bell, but he also has very easy tracking powers. Also, he can easily just with speed and no level of attention, just like go to a gen, find out if he hears people there or sees people, he just uncloaks and hits them, and then he continues his pressure. His pressure is honestly very crazy for the fact that he can just like cloak, uncloak, hit, unhit, do that old stuff. But like I said, something about him just really irks me a lot. And it's interesting too because his perks are terrible. The fact that Predator, it's just like the scratch marks are closer, right? The pools of blood are brighter, which makes it easier to see, right? And the Shadowborn, people use Shadowborn actually quite a lot, which is very fascinating to me. But I think that all three of his perks are just like not at all helpful. But I mean, I don't know. I'm very iffy about the killer as a whole in general. So, like I said, something about him just really like rubs me the wrong way. So, his power of cloaking and uncloaking is that thing that I really I can't figure out. Like, if I really had to read through his powers and understand it, like what I would love, like I said, if they can rework him, I would love for them to reduce the sound of the bell thing and the whooshing noise, I would reduce the sound in which you can hear this significantly, because 40 meters away and he's invisible, I just know that he's invisible. You know what I mean? It just lets me know like he's somewhere lurking in the freaking shadows and ready to like hit me in my back or something of that nature, you know. But even when you hear him uncloaking with the bell too, like I feel like what they should do is, if they get rid of this like speed boost that he gets when he uncloaks, but also you know, makes this a lot like closer in terms of being able to hear the bell and also the whoosh noise, I feel like it'll actually change up a lot of his gameplay, because I feel like people are going to be able to figure out like, you know, oh, I can you know, do stuff, and when I get close I can actually do stuff, you know, again. But the fact that he's completely invisible from 20 meters away is a huge win. I love that he's completely invisible at a certain distance. I would even make this be even a little bit shorter, because like I feel like you can still technically see him even if he's like a far away. Like you can see him kind of moving. He's kind of like a weird thing that like lurks around, you know, even when he's like invisible. But I don't know, this for it to tell me that it's 20 meters away seems so incorrect. I feel like it's like 60 meters I can see him from far away. Like even if he's like chasing after a person, it's just like what it is. Being undetectable is fine, you know, I love that. His movement speed increasing, if they can just slow that down like a hair, that'd be okay. Only because like, again, this would be in consequence of like them reducing the sound of the bell when he uncloaks, and also when he like goes invisible. They should kind of combine that stuff together, right? Where he's harder, he's completely invisible, like you can't see him anywhere at a certain distance, right? But also you can't hear the bell except for when it's too close, and also you can't hear the whooshing noise of him going invisible when he's too, you know, too far. But then also as a result, right, he can cover more ground. But they should let this be a little bit, I would make this like 5.5, I think, or even like 5, because I think he's like 5.6 when he's like out. I think this like the standard basis is 4.6 meters per second, right? I make it like a 5. But again, you don't see him coming. I feel like that can actually add a lot to his fear that I would love to see. So, but again, like because he has like this like a light vulnerability, right? When he's cloaked using flashlights and firecrackers and flash grenades near him, being able to force him to uncloak, that's honestly one of those powers that it fascinates me, because the thing is that, here's what I would say: if you don't know it's a Wraith, like if you're playing like a custom game or even like a competitive tournament or something, because I know that those exist, right? When you know it's a Wraith, you're immediately gonna do this, right? A flashlight becomes the #1 priority when you're fighting a Wraith, 100% without question, because it's the easiest way to limit his power, right? But if you don't know it's a Wraith and you don't have a flashlight, and you find out it's a Wraith and you use like a toolbox or a med kit, then I think that's the thing that creates the frustration, that you just like don't have the capabilities to deal with a Wraith. I think that might actually be the thing that like annoys me the most, is that he has the capabilities of being like a sneaky, like scary stealth killer, but he's just like a nuisance. I feel like that's really what it boils down to, because the fact that he gets like this post uncloak boost to 6.9 meters per second, like his boosting speed when he uncloaks is faster than him just like walking while he's invisible, you know. That's why people kind of spam the heck out of the cloak and uncloaking, because he just has this boost like all the time. I definitely wouldn't call it like cheating or anything like that, but it's just like, again, he's honestly a nuisance. That's really the way that I feel about him. So yeah, but again, he, you know, the cloaking speed thing takes a second and a half. I would make that honestly a lot shorter, again, to just make it really easy for him to kind of like lurk about, but also to reduce the speed of him being able to be hard to see and hear, but let him get out of the way quicker. It would be, because, you know, you can't really fight him, you know. And the uncloaking taking 3 seconds is like I said, it's very long. It's very long. But again, he gains a movement speed when he uncloaks, and I think I can't stand that, honestly. because it's kind of hard to put a flashlight on him, honestly. But he gets stunned really hardcore when you hit him with a flashlight. But again, if you had a flashlight, then you would, like, I think if I knew it was a Wraith, I would bring a flashlight automatically knowing it's a Wraith. Otherwise, I had to go find a flashlight. But then if every chest gets opened and there's no flashlights, there's nothing I can do about his cloaking power, and that's kind of the problem. So I would make him slower but harder to see is like my real request if I had to ask for like a rework. And again, some of his add-ons, honestly, none of this stuff matters in terms of his power. He's so obnoxiously strong, even though people, again, seem to have a really easy... I think, honestly, in the entire universe of players who play this game, I'm the only person who has like a devastating affectation against this killer. Like, again, it's impossible. I can never actually like benefit against fighting this killer. And again, his add-ons do a lot of really good things, you know, being able to increase your action speed while doing stuff while you're cloaked is insane. The fact that he can basically get like a free sloppy butcher on you when he hits you with a surprise attack is pretty interesting. You know, slowing down or increasing his uncloaking time like twice over is pretty insane. You know, you can actually apply these also twice, so to be able to double the speed of your ability to break stuff while you're cloaked, like the combination of stuff you can do for him is actually pretty awesome, you know. But again, the thing that honestly kind of it fascinates me is that like he has this this add-on that completely silences the bell. I'm so surprised that that's like his iridescent, you know. I would love for people to take advantage of using this add-on and do things to make him scarier, you know. Like if I can actually say, if I can make a request on this add-on in particular, I would not only silence the bell, but I would also reduce the radius for where you can visually see him while he's cloaked to like very, very small numbers. I think that would actually make him a lot scarier. But again, I feel like you got to also take away a lot of his insanity too. Like he shouldn't get any kind of like movement speed while using this, but to make him completely invisible and you know, very stealthy scary would be very cool. So because he has like a, you know, a cloaking add-on that, you know, he can see the aura of people while he's invisible. That's insane. You know, this is literally like these two together give me Scratch Myers potential, where he just has the power to appear out of nowhere and catch you way off guard. I would just add a lot of stuff to this particular add-on so that he's able to be quiet and be hard to see while invisible. But again, like him being able to you know, be slow paced while doing stuff like this would make it like really scary for him to just appear out of freaking corners. I can totally imagine like people in RPD using the Wraith with these two and then just like hiding behind, and then when they're working on a gen, he just uncloaks behind like a doorway, pops around that corner, and then just goes for the hit. Because Myers doesn't have a problem with that at all, you know, so it should be really easy for the Wraith to do this, considering right now he's like a movement speed. But people don't use these two combined in order to make him act like a Myers, if you will, you know. Like I said, I would love for them to turn him into like a scary stealth killer, but he's just like a nuisance pressure stealth killer. Or he not even stealth, he's just invisible. Like that's what it is. So here we are. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much how I feel about it as a whole. You know, again, the thing that's crazy to me is that they have give him buffs, quality of life changes. You know, they've done all of this stuff for him to make him faster, and better and more appropriate, and people still have a hard time. Like he's gotten buffed every single time, or quality of life every single time, except for like the most two like big patches, I guess you could say, where they had to like slow down his stuff because like it's you know, too much or whatever. But again, people still think that he's very bad, or not bad, or you know, he's really easy to deal with. I don't know. Like I said, I think that I would like for them to take away his speed stuff, but make his invisible stuff more lethal and harder to determine. Same thing with being able to, like, you know, if you can see him, then like, yeah, you can see him and use a flashlight. That'd be. But again, the benefits that come from being able to find that is insane. But when you actually see that it's a Wraith and he's close by, you don't even prioritize the gen or finding a paladin anymore. You just benefit from trying to light burn him for 4 whole seconds. Because then when he finds out that that survivor has a flashlight, he doesn't deal with that killer or that survivor anymore, you know. So if everybody had flashlights, then like, yeah, you know, it'd be a whole lot more harder for him to do stuff. I want to know though if there was ever like a oh yeah, you see he got a, yeah, patch 183 they added like the, you know, the radius distance and where you can hear the sound. They have a cap at where how far he can actually do stuff. I'd love to actually understand like when did they add the speed boost thing, because I actually never really understood when they applied that. I feel like they actually applied that after like after I started playing, like when I started playing the game and to like now, they added that speed boosting at some point during that. But it looks like to me that he's always had the ability to uncloak with his speed. Oh, actually, I remember this, that he had to wait before he can attack. I do remember this actually. That it's good that they took that out, honestly. Yeah, I remember that they did that actually. But I don't see where they gave him like a speed boost when he attacks. I guess he's always just had that power. I mean, someone's gonna have to let me know, because I honestly, I actually have no idea. Because I'm kind of like quickly burned through this and I don't see it anywhere. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I think he's always had the ability to speed boost after the uncloak. They gotta take that out, because I personally hate that a lot. I would, like I said, if I can make a request for the rework, I would say make him slower while he's cloaked or uncloaking and doing stuff, but like force him to have to like be harder to see at a close distance. Like the whole ringing sound, like lower the whooshing sound distance media thing, but also make it so that you know, he is also harder to see, but get rid of the speed. Like the post uncloak speed needs to be completely removed, is what I would say. Just take that entirely, but allow him to be harder to see while he's invisible. He's invisible. He's not like a, you know, he's not a ghost, but you know, he hits a bell to go invisible. People can easily hear when he's doing that. It should be harder to know where he is and when he's invisible, and then also him being able to get the jump on people would make him a whole lot scarier. That's what my request is. Yeah, I would say that. So there you go. Alrighty. Hopefully this kind of like, I don't know, people can definitely like agree or disagree. Like I said, I hate this killer, but I'd like to see them do something to make him scarier. I feel like if they can do that, then he will definitely come up on my list as a killer who's just like a nightmare to deal with on the fear scale. But the fact that he's super speedy is like kind of obnoxious to me. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and be sure to look forward to the next one. Peace.